All right, guys, you got to stay with me on this. Jon Jones, okay? Now, this is the talk of the town. Jon Jones has returned. How do we know that? Because he told us on social media, complete with a photograph that included a gym and training partners and sweat and none other than Greg Jackson. I mean, they say a picture's worth 1,000 words. But we don't have to just take the picture. We actually had the words. From who? From Jon, who said, I returned. Right? Okay, so we agree. Jon Jones is back. But there's a difference in a guy's working out. You know, guy's got a broken foot. There's machines that you can do, and you can pedal with arms only. There's curls and dumbbells and exercises you can do. That is very different to returning to MMA. If you can do MMA in the gym, that is signifying my body is healed. Now, perhaps my timing's not there and my cardio's not there and I'm not in shape to compete, but I am medically cleared and able to compete. It's a big deal. And Jon Jones made that statement within 1 hour of Dana White revealing the UFC is going to Manchester. And the only clue that Dana gave was from a comment that he had made 15 days prior that we're going back to England. Oh, by the way, we've got 2 British champions. So that leads you to believe those 2 British champions, Tom Aspinall and Leon Edwards, are going to be put to work. Now, make sure you stay with me here, because your feature match is very likely Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall has headlined sold-out arenas in England twice that I know of right off the top of my head. Tom Aspinall has 1 loss, and it was in one of those headlining acts opposite Curtis Blaydes. I think Curtis Blaydes is deserving, so do you. I think that Jailton Almeida was being looked at to be a top contender, being groomed, and very likely would already have an announcement made that he was going to take on Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall would agree with me. He knew that's the direction it was going, and Curtis Blaydes was able to beat him. Now, the bigger fight and the better poster, whatever that is worth to you. I haven't checked the rankings, but the rankings probably support that too. Is Tom Aspinall opposite Curtis Blaydes? I apologize, Ciryl Gane. So if we're sitting around and we're trying to guess who Tom is going to have, it is a very interesting topic. Why? Because the interim championship has never been defended before. And the interim championship, though never specifically stated, has always been your golden ticket to number 1 contendership. In fact, the boys in the locker room themselves will not call out the undisputed champion if there's an interim champion, because they know they're wasting their breath. They know the interim champion draws into the undisputed champion, and they have to. They have to, because you have an interim champion, because the undisputed champion can't fight. So if the interim champion can fight, and in Tom's situation is willing and going to fight, how do you punish him by taking the belt off of him? Well, you don't have a choice. The moment the bell rings on the undisputed champion's return, you no longer have an interim champion. Do you understand that? I want to make sure you do, because it's not the way the media's reported it to you. The media did not understand this. The media believes that when Jon Jones returns to fight Stipe, Tom Aspinall will be in the front row. And they believe, should Jon Jones win, that he could turn and call out Tom Aspinall, and you will have your interim champion face your undisputed champion. They are wrong. That is impossible. It is impossible, because the moment the bell rings for Jon Jones's next fight, the moment the bell rings, the interim championship is gone. And we've never been confronted with that, because we've always put the champion opposite the interim champion. Tom would no longer be interim champion, which means at the end of the night, should they face off in a perfect scenario, should you build a poster, you do not have 2 belts. It's important that you understand that. Now, you take that technicality in conjunction with, I, Chael Sonnen, do not believe Jon Jones is going to retire. I do not believe Jon Jones is going to go anywhere until he handles one final piece of business, which will be against Tom Aspinall. Now, if you put Ciryl opposite Tom and Ciryl gets the jump on him, you will, in effect, be retiring Jon Jones. While Ciryl is an easy fight for Jon. And Jon would know that. He's already done it. While Ciryl would be a good payday for Jon, which Jon already knows. He's already done it. I don't think Jon's fighting for the money anymore. I take Jon at his word that he's fighting for legacy. Now, you never got to take a fighter at their word because they're seldomly going to tell you something without having their fingers crossed in their pocket. Right? You got the right to change your mind. But in Jon's case, I do think it's different, and he is overcoming a lot. To leave a world championship, walk away for 3 years just to try to gain weight. Then he comes back and wins in such an incredible fashion. Then he gets this back and forth with Stipe, who people said at that time particularly was the greatest heavyweight to have ever done it. Fedor's off the board. Jon comes back, even wants to do it at International Fight Week, then wants to do it at Madison Square Garden where he gets a signed contract, and then he gets hurt. I mean, he has overcome a lot to even come back at all. I don't think it's about the money, and I don't think it's about defending the championship. I think it's about the idea that Stipe has something Jon wants, which is the status of the greatest heavyweight ever. So when Jon gets done there, and it's believed that he's going to ride off in the sunset, I don't think so. I think he's going to finish his business with Tom Aspinall. But now imagine a scenario where Tom is no longer there, because Tom wasn't here in November of last year when they went to Madison Square Garden. There was no talk that Tom was the guy. The talk 100% by all of you and the pundits was Sergey Pavlich. That was the guy that the pundits and you said Jon would never face. Jon will retire before he faces him. Sergey went down. Tom took that spot. And I'm just letting you know, if you put Tom against Ciryl and Ciryl wins, if Jon, in fact, is only fighting for legacy, not accomplishment and not money, if those things are true, then matching Tom and Ciryl with the Ciryl victory effectively retires Jon Jones. And that is a very big calculation you're going to have to make. That is a massive calculation to make for one night of business in a match that's not even the main event. The only way Tom is main event is if Leon or any other champion isn't booked. Tom with interim status must fight in the co-main event. So even if you believe, and I think we're down, I think it's Curtis Blades is what I think. But because that's not announced, you have the talk of Ciryl. Ciryl has come out and said, I can't do it, I'm filming a movie. Which, I mean, in the world of dumb things, that's highly possible. Every athlete wants to be an actor. Every actor wants to be an athlete. I don't know why it is. It's like the policeman and the fireman. Like they just can't get it right. So Ciryl might be off filming a movie, or he's giving us all the swerve. So I believe if you're making your predictions, and you are down to Blades versus Ciryl, you, one, have Ciryl's statement of the alleged movie that's nobody's going to watch, or you have a rematch with Curtis Blades, who's already done it once, who needs to fix the story, and who, if he wins, by the way, don't forget, for the first time ever, having an interim championship does not guarantee you the next shot at the undisputed champion.